12:25 here at the Breakfast Club. Bryan Angus, Bill Hayes, wherever you're watching us from in Nextsportstar, you are more than welcome. We're with you every morning from 7 o'clock to 9, joined by one of our favorite guys, one of the most popular Blue Jays of all time, now playing with Arizona, Johnny McDonald. Good morning, Johnny.
Good morning. How you doing?
Well, we're doing great. So here's the story. We got hammered on Friday with a huge snowstorm in the Toronto area, spent the whole weekend digging ourselves out. And I understand you went to spring training with Arizona, but you had to get out of there and get a flight out and get back home to your town just outside of Boston because your town got absolutely crushed by the same storm and then some.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun being in Arizona in warm weather. My wife was we have a generator back home, but we were the generator and with the storm, it wasn't working as well as we would have liked it. So we were one of the families that was spoiled. We had intermittent power when everybody else in our town did not have any power. And being far away, I actually flew to Newark, New Jersey a couple of nights ago, and my flight got in at 11. I rented a car, drove 5 hours to my house, and just to be with my wife and kids and help them get through the rest of the storm and shovel out. And we got power back a day and a half ago and got all dug out, and now we're ready to get back to spring training.
I just out of curiosity, what was that drive like? Because that sounds like it would be absolutely unbelievable during that storm.
Well, it was at the end of it. So I was driving along 95 with the snow piled up on either side, but I was in the car from 11:30 at night to 4 in the morning. So there wasn't very many people except the snowplows on the highway.
Wow.
I had a pretty smooth sailing just because there wasn't anybody on the road. I can't imagine doing that drive at 7 in the morning.
No, I can't imagine it either. How bad was Scituate hit? That's your hometown. Because we, like everybody else, were watching CNN and other places that were showing specifically the Boston area getting hit. How bad was it?
Right down about a half mile from us is the ocean, and we took my wife and kids got in the car, and we drove around to survey some of the damage in our town, and they had streets blocked off. You couldn't get down to the shoreline, and what we were able to drive down and see, some of the homes along the shore were just devastated. I mean, you're looking at total rebuilds of a long stretch of houses along the shoreline in Massachusetts. It was crazy. One of the houses we saw, the garage was the whole house dropped, and the garage was crushed underneath the house. It just, I know you see a lot of the houses along the shore, and they're built up on stilts, and you could see right through the bottom of houses, and they were just destroyed. It was very sad to see. It's going to be a long cleanup.
And just outside of Toronto in Cambridge, there's a very famous golf dome. It's one of those big bubbles that they put up, and it's always packed with guys. The golf season here, having lived and played up here, Johnny, is only 6 months long, and it's the winter time. And just as well it happened overnight, but that damn thing, if there had been people in it, there would have been some serious fatalities because there was so much snow on it that it collapsed and absolutely it got crushed. So I guess that story went up and down the eastern seaboard and right across southern Ontario. Johnny, let's talk a little bit of ball with you. I know that you're in the car right now with your mom, so first of all, hi to your mom for us. And secondly, yesterday, I was having a look at a fine baseball publication. It's called Grantland. I don't know if you ever heard of it or not, but it's a very interesting, and it had the 15 worst contracts in baseball in it. Your name, I'm happy to say, wasn't amongst them, Johnny.
That's good. That's good.
Like the Derek Jeter one, still sort of first and foremost with his $27.1 million and might never play again. But anyhow, the fact of the matter is, you're playing with Arizona this year. You're going to be going back down to spring training. Let's start here with the local 9, Toronto. I got to tell you, hope is just through the roof right now, Johnny. And I know you keep track of your teammates and your former team. With the trade that they made, there is more media down at Dunedin right now before the pitchers and catchers even reported than there's ever been before. Your thoughts about your former team?
I love what they did. The club that they put together is tremendous. From the staff on down. I mean, I really like the John Gibbons hire, as I know a lot of people do. I just hear so many positive things about that. And then the team. You man for man down that team. You look at that lineup on paper. It's a tremendous lineup. The pitching staff is I mean, top to bottom, you talk about solidifying a pitching staff with Johnson and Burley coming in to stabilize the rotation, allow Ricky Romero to relax and just focus on winning baseball games instead of trying to lead a staff. I mean, he's got so much upside, and he's shown brilliance already in his young career. He obviously took a little step back last year, but hey, that's in the past. He's not going to worry about what happened last year. He's going to focus on this year and being able to relax and just go out and do his job. And you got Brandon Morrow, who can be an ace on a lot of staffs in baseball. I don't even know where these guys slot in together in that rotation. I really don't think it matters.
There's been an awful lot of movement around baseball, actually, in the offseason. Not just here. In your division, for instance, look at what the Dodgers have been up to. They made a run. I wouldn't say much of a run. You guys were, 5 games behind them at 500 last year. San Francisco, world champions, leading the division. How do you see your Diamondbacks this year in a division where the 2 teams above you are willing to spend that kind of money?
Well, I mean, I look at it the same way as we talk about Toronto. You have to go out and improve yourself on the field. What we have in Arizona, I mean, we got a really good balanced baseball team. But it all comes down to starting pitching. And what the Giants did last year, what they've been able to do 2 out of the last 3 years, it's built on pitching. It's built on a strong starting rotation and an excellent bullpen. What we have in Arizona is a lot of depth. We don't necessarily have that ace that's going to jump off the page. It's going to win 25 games and have a sub-2 ERA. But we've got a lot of guys that go deep into a ball game and a bullpen that is extremely deep. With J.J. Putz at the back end, we've got a couple of very good lefties in our bullpen right now that we acquired, and then Heath Bell and David Hernandez at the back end setting up for J.J. So there is a way for us to shorten baseball games where our pitchers go 6 innings where we've got the 7th, 8th, and 9th covered.
Johnny Mac joins us right now at 8:32 here on the Breakfast Club. Bryan Angus, Bill Hayes with you. Johnny Mac, you know what I think about you, and we all do, about your ability, not to just on the field, but the kind of guy you are off of it. But the fact of the matter is you've been renowned for being one of the best defensive middle infielders in the game. Tell us a little bit about what Jays fans have to look forward to with Jose Reyes this year.
I got to see him up close last year twice, and I was very impressed. His arm strength, his release, just the way he fields ground balls. How ball went out to shortstop, and it was you were already turning your page to the next hitter. You just expected it to be an out, and I didn't see him make any mistakes against us. He was impressive to watch. All around speed, quickness. I keep on going back to his throwing arm. It's just impressive how well he throws the ball across the diamonds. And he's going to allow Brett at third base to really be able to relax and play his position and not worry about. Reyes covers the hole so well. He's going to shorten down the game for Brett at third base. He's not going to. He goes to. I know Brett goes to his left very well, but he's going to have that line covered. That side of the infield is going to be tremendous this year as Brett grows and starts becoming more of a consistent, complete baseball player.
It's an interesting point you make. One of the things that you've been able to I guess, benefit from is the coaching of Brian Butterworth, who's left here now and gone on to the Red Sox. A lot of people say he might be the best infield coach around. You spent some time with him. A lot of people think that you might end up coaching at some point down the road. What can you take from him, and how good was Butter?
Butter was tremendous. The work ethic that he instilled in many young players and veteran players, transcended you toward the game. He was talking about infield play when you walked into the locker room. The preparation, attention to detail on what hitters, where we're going to play hitters, and what their tendency were at the beginning of the year, and how they've changed, or how we watch the reports, and how he makes sure that we're all in the right spot. And, if you listen to Butter, you're going to be in the right spot. The ball's not always going to get hit there, but you are going to be in the right spot to be able to make a play. I mean, that helped me out so much. I've learned so much from just how I study scouting reports, where I want to be, where I want to move my second baseman, where I want to move the third baseman. It cuts off a lot of holes, and I'm sure the Jays are going to do great without him. But he was such a bonus to have, and I know Boston's going to benefit from his knowledge and skills. Johnny
Mac, are you friends with Tim Lincecum?
I am not.
Okay, well, you might want to be. He's getting paid $22 million for 1 year this year.
Is he really?
C.J. Wilson, 4 years, $67 million. They're not even on the worst record of the 15 top.
He's obsessed with this. I don't get it. He's obsessed with it.
Because I had to look at my bank account. But, Johnny, I will tell you that the number 15 guy is Albert Pujols, and they go into great detail about their numbers. But the number one of them all is Alec Rodriguez with his $27.7 million this year. An old pal of yours is in at number 5, Vernon Wells, with the Angels. Jason Worth at 4. Ryan Howard's at 3. And number 2, Carl Crawford with the Los Angeles Dodgers. It is unbelievable, $147 million they paid him to play, and his talent is diminishing as we talk. Anyways, as I said, you're not amongst all of that, Johnny. Just tell us before you go, for all your fans up here, what when you spoke with management this year, what's your role going to be with Arizona?
I'm still working into my role. We signed Cliff Pennington to man down shortstop. We traded for him at the end of the year. They just signed him to a 2-year deal through our arbitration. So there's a really good chance that he's going to be the starter this year if he comes into camp and plays well. And then myself and Willie Bloomquist are backing up behind, are going to fight for that backup spot behind him. So one of us is probably going to be elsewhere when the season starts. We signed Eric Chavez as well to back up at third base. So one of those utility spots kind of got sucked up by Chavi, and we just traded for Martin Prado. So there's a lot of depth out in Arizona, and you cannot have enough depth in an organization. Unfortunately, that means players that come to camp that were on the club last year are not going to be there. So, I'm still fighting. I'm gonna fight through to try to battle win the backup job. You never know what's going to happen. So you just don't worry about those things. You go out and you take care of business. You keep preparing the way you've been preparing your whole career, and good things happen at the end of spring training, whether it's wherever that may be.
You also didn't mention, but Aaron Hill got extended as well, and that's another commitment to the future. John, you're 38 now. Or are you thinking of the time when you might hang him up, and are you mentally prepared for that? And if so, if that does happen soon, would you be interested in coaching?
Well, a lot to answer right there. I try not to focus on what's going to happen after baseball because I still feel like I've got a lot to offer a baseball team and an organization.
Sure.
I felt like I played some of my better baseball last year that I have in a long time. I felt extremely comfortable both at the plate and in the field. I didn't feel like I've lost anything, even though you say 38. I don't feel like I'm a 38-year-old. My body may be sore sometimes, but I still feel like I get to an awful lot of balls on defense and can do a little bit of. I did not feel like I was an out at the plate. So I'm very much thinking about playing not just this year but beyond. But when it does come time, that coaching is definitely in my future.
Well, Johnny, listen, our technical director here has put together a montage of your home runs. It wasn't very long, but they were all a joy to watch.
Hey, I tell people I had 6 homers last year and 200 at-bats. If someone was going to give me 500 at-bats, I might have hit 20.
There you go. Absolutely.
Pal, listen, always great to talk to you. I'll keep in touch as the year goes on. All the best to the family. Your mom's there with you right now, and we look forward to watching your magic in the middle of the diamond when you play this year.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Take care. All the best. Well, yeah, classy guy,